I think that's a little bit of a nitty fold by me with the 5-4. I think I should probably 3-bet or defend. I mean, he's still opening like pretty wide, so I think that'd be marginally profitable. And again, I'm just not playing with his 3-bets unless I have a hand. It's just kind of pointless with how tight he's been in general. Pretty dry board, just decided to bet a little less than half pot. I think he's going to fold all his queen jacks and king 7 suiteds and stuff like that. It's going to be pretty profitable in general, I think. I like the limp with the 6-2 here. It's not a hand that we can call or raise with, but I would be limp calling there a decent amount versus a 3x raise. Just not with that hand. I always bet 25 when I don't have a hand, so I'm going to bet it when I do have a hand. And obviously what I'm trying to do here is string along a 10 or like a hand like queen jack, king jack, something like that. On the river, I think that's when the interesting decision comes in. I think it's pretty clear he has a 10 by this point. I guess he does have aces in his range because he showed before that he'd like flat call ace-5 offsuit, so... But I mean, against that hand, I think it's fairly relevant when we do, because I think he's going to check jam that in the river. So we want to get value from a 10, basically. And I guess maybe we should target like king queen that like would hero call for some reason, even though this is like kind of an unbluffable board. So in terms of the bet size, I was debating between like really small and really big. I think a medium-sized bet just gets called too often here, like a 120. I think if we bet like 80, it can convince him that we're betting a 10 as well, so he won't fold his 10. And since his flatting range is like pretty strong, like almost all of his 10x are going to be strong 10x hands. So I decided to just go like a little bit big and try to like level him into thinking we turned like a flush draw or something like that, and then we're just kamikaze in the river. So I think, what did I do, 160 I think? I think that's probably okay. If he folded a 10 here, I give him credit. I don't think I've seen a reg fold a 10 there in years, so... And I like the min raise here as opposed to the limp. I think he only shoved over our limp once out of like 7 opportunities or something. Here I'm just going to bet call with three diamonds and overcards and ace high. He's still going to have plenty of draws. We saw the first hand of the tournament we played, or the first one we got in when he had jack 9 and 10-7-6, so he's definitely still capable of that. He's nitty, but not nitty enough for me to fold an ace for 11 big blinds. These crappy king x's, I'm just going to be having them part of my ship range against him. I could ship here, but I like a limp or a min raise probably more. Again, with just how passive he is, I think it's going to be more plus EV, lower variance. So, second time he shoved over our limp, so... that being said, in terms of a leveling game, I'd probably just keep min raising some hands. I guess if I got one like immediately after, I would limp, just because he would think, well, I shipped the last one, so he doesn't think I'm going to shove again, so I'm going to shove. But besides that, if it's like a few hands later, then I'd probably just min raise. He trapped there with king queen, which I actually think, based on like I don't know if he knows what my trapping or my shove over limp frequency is versus him, but it probably, whether he knows it or not, I mean, that was a correct play, I think. Or a good play anyway. Obviously, jamming or limping or min-raising can't be bad either. Jack 8 for a little bit more than 8 blinds. I think it's pretty standard stuff. I mean, I think with 8-ish blinds, I think limping or shoving are only options. I think min-raising looks too strong, probably. And he has started to shove over some of our limps, so. He leads out here, and I'm almost like positive he has a jack, but I think he's like nitty enough where he's gonna like fold it if I raise, because it's gonna look like I have aces, kings, whatever. So that's why I decided just to call, and I'm not really afraid of any turn. I mean, even if he like jammed this turn, I'd still call with my 25% equity, and you know, he could have like 2 pair or something that he thinks he's value betting, something like that. So I think we get kind of like the perfect river, as I think, like I said, I put him on a jack on the flop, or a 9x, like maybe like a 9-4. This is kind of an interesting spot. Like, I love doing this as a bluff. When I was doing this, I was like, there's no way he's ever going to pay me off here. The only way I could see him pay me off is if he had like a jack 6 of hearts or something. Actually, he can't have that because there's a jack hearts in the river. So yeah, he, you know, some combination of hearts that he somehow got to the river with. That's the only way we were going to get paid. But like I said, I mean, I think that's a good fold. I don't even think that's like really a nitty fold. It's just like, when am I ever bluffing there? Which I think makes it a good bluff spot. So it's kind of a mind bender. For like 3.5 blinds, pretty easy call with a suited Broadway hand.